Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen of people of the tube. My name is ForceOfWill, and welcome to WWFree's review of Hell in a Cell. Now, I will go on record as saying that this is the best pay-per-view of 2015. Forget WrestleMania, forget the Royal Rumble, because they were both shit. Nearly every single match on this card was an absolute fucking barn burner. Absolute fantastic, brutal spots. Some spots that I really don't think should have been in the show. I did actually put up a predictions video. I was right on a few of them, right more than wrong. I didn't catch all of the pre-show because I never bothered with it. The match itself was a rematch from Raw anyway. The one thing that I did notice on the pre-show that really made me angry, and it makes me I think it happened a couple of times during the show as well, mid-match adverts on the fucking network. Like, bullshit. Like, this is supposed to be like a pay-per-view. You don't get adverts in the middle of a fucking pay-per-view. Tom Phillips got schooled by the Dudleys in their little interview segment. He said that the Dudleys would indeed be facing the Dudleys, and immediately Bubba Ray's like, no, we're the Dudleys, dick. You could see Tom Phillips wanting to die. It was amazing. And then we get to the actual show, and like I say, this has been the best pay-per-view of the year, by far. So the first match, the John Cena US title open challenge. Now, I predicted Dean Ambrose that came out to face him because Randy Orton was injured and had to drop out of the pre-show match between him, Ambrose, and the two of the Wyatts. But I was wrong. I was so fucking wrong. So John's doing his thing in the ring, and Zeb Coulter comes out, the real American music, or, you know, what used to be Jack Swagger's adopted entrance theme hits, and I'm like, God, no. Not Jack Swagger, I fucking hate this guy. No, the guy, oh no, please no, please no. And my prayers were answered in possibly the worst way. Alberto Del Rio is back in WWE. Now, I have no idea how either he convinced them to take him back or they convinced him to come back, because to the best of my knowledge, about 18 months ago, I think it was, he pulled a CM Punk and just fucking walked out on the company. Hated the work schedule, hated the way that they operated, and just fucking walked out. But no, his music hits, and fuck me, it's Alberto Del Rio. So John is like shocked. One of the things I noticed in the crowd was the push John Cena crowd sign. That made me smile. Yeah, it took less than 5 minutes for me to want to strangle JBL for his shitty commentary. I can't even remember what the comment was, but it was stupid. They were talking about the cross arm breaker finisher of Del Rio's, putting Rey Mysterio and Christian on the shelf. Now, as far as I knew, Rey Mysterio fucked off to wrestle for some Mexican company. In fact, I distinctly remember him getting in shit for it. And Christian was put out permanently with concussions, which is something Del Rio is very, very good at giving to people. It was something that I used to notice way back when he was being pushed insanely, when he had that massive run of like winning the Royal Rumble and then winning fucking Money in the Bank and then becoming the champion. Like, I know he gave Christian, I know he gave Mysterio at one point, I know he gave Dolph Ziggler, all of them, he gave them concussions, because that's that sort of kneeling sweet chin music thing that he does. He doesn't pull the kick right, and he constantly kicks people in the fucking face. So I'm not wild about him being back, because I think he's a dangerous performer. But it was a relatively good match. I was very surprised that the crowd remembered the C chant for him doing the cross arm breaker, which he didn't even do in this match, because he went for it. Cena hit that mean-looking, like, trailer park truck fucking clothesline and just took him out. Goes for the AA, doing his 5-knuckle shuffle business. Goes for the AA, ends up in Carlito's old move, the backstabber, and then out of the backstabber, just that BAM! Sweet chin music on your knees, kick to the face. 1, 2, 3. Del Rio is now the US champion. I was legitimately shocked, because all the things I was looking at online was saying Ambrose, Ziggler, one of those guys was going to face him, and like nowhere in any of the lists that I saw was Del Rio even mentioned. So I had no idea that Del Rio was coming back. That was a nice surprise. The little segment backstage with the Authority and Corporate Kane, which we will no longer be seeing. Spoilers for later on in the show there. But yeah, we won't be seeing Corporate Kane anymore, which is only going to be a fucking good thing at this point. But yeah, could they make Rollins look any whinier or weaker than he does? Like, it's weird, because he can really go in the ring, but he has this horrible, greasy weasel heel thing going on. And it's not even a good heel thing, it's constant whining. And just, oh. My match of the night, this. The first Hell in a Cell match. Wyatt versus Roman Reigns. Fuck me, was this match fucking amazing. This was great. There was lots of spots. It was vicious from fucking bell to bell. It was brilliant. The first thing I noticed was Bray's little homage to the new Mad Max movie. I mean, Jesus Christ, the last costume I saw him wearing, he had fucking horns on his hood. His costumes get more and more ridiculous as the weeks go on. Cole turning to King and saying, give us some information about the cell. And then he goes on to not give any facts about the cell. Like, I remember when JR used to really play up how tall the cell was, how much chain link went into the cell. Like, it's over a mile in chain link, it's 20 foot high, it weighs this many tons. Like, really build up the structure. And, because of course there are going to be people, there are going to be younger fans out there where this is like their first Hell in a Cell match. They don't remember the classic, Foley Taker match or Foley Triple H match, which, in my opinion, are the two best fucking Hell in a Cell matches. Match starts, and Roman Reigns is throwing Bray Wyatt around like he's a fucking 8-year-old child, just launching him like overhead T-bone suplexes, just left, right, and centre. Beautiful, bouncing everywhere. Reigns dominating. He goes for a vicious. I think they call it the drive-by, like 2 feet on the apron, right into the face. Jesus Christ, that move looked fucking amazing. They really, really sold this match, and I was getting really tired of this feud, because the matches leading up to this between the two of them have always been interrupted by somebody, so it's been very lukewarm. But this match was beautiful from fucking bell to bell. Yeah, Reigns dominated him, and then out of nowhere Wyatt discovers the kendo stick and beats the piss out of Roman. Like, I couldn't fucking believe it, slapping him round the face with it, back of the head. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you're gonna fucking kill this guy. Oh, it's so good. Such a brutal match. Just beating him round the ring, beating him like a runaway slave. Just beating left, right, and centre all over the ring. It's amazing. Bray pulls a chair out, and I thought he was just gonna, plant him slap bang on the chin with his chair, and he drops the chair down, sits on the chair, and he's slapping Roman Reigns like across the side of the face, down onto his chest. get up, fight me. He mounts the chair into like the chain link, and there was something with a kendo stick. I think he stuck the kendo stick through the chain link and then just propelled Reigns into it. This kendo stick just snaps like it was made of like thin twigs. It was ridiculous. And then of course Bray ends up eating the chair face first, like reverse Irish whip into it, and he just bam on his ass, thrown in the ring. Reigns has to top him, so he pulls out 2 kendo sticks and then just starts slap, 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 more slap, just more slap, all over the place. Just, he's beating him 6 ways from Sunday with these 2 fucking kendo sticks all over the place. Pulls out 1 table and he's like there to the camera like, no, 1 table isn't enough. Got to have two tables up in this bitch. So he sets 2 tables up, 1 on either side of the ring, and that's when he hits. He hits 1 drive-by, and then hits another drive-by. Pulls Wyatt up onto the apron, and I think he was gonna suplex him from the apron out onto the table, and Wyatt's like, no, I'm not having this, and it looked like a rock bottom. It looked very similar to a rock bottom, only he didn't go down with him, and he just fucking launched him off the apron, through the table, and Reigns folds up like a fucking accordion. I thought he was legitimately out cold by this point. Near fall. This is when I noticed that, like, here on the top of Bray's head is this big fucking red angry gash. Like, it wasn't pissing with blood like Lesnar's was later on, but he definitely split his head open by this point. He's got Roman Reigns' head against the ring post, and he's just laying the elbows into the side of Roman, and that looks so evil. Like, I couldn't believe how brutal this pay-per-view was. The 2 Hell in a Cell matches, Jesus fucking Christ, that reminded me of the Attitude days, and it was extreme, and there was blood and like face shots with chairs. But I don't think anyone was like long-term injured. So I for one, am happy to see a return to the slightly. It's Hell in a Cell, man. It's got to be fucking brutal. And this match really did live up to that. He sets Bray sets another table up on the inside of the ring this time, near the turnbuckles in the corner. And I knew what was going to happen. I knew Bray was going through that fucking table, because he set it up, and it was so obvious. They do the whole top rope headbutt thing, which always looks shitty. And then Reigns just powerbombs this motherfucker through the table. 1, 2, near fall. The reversal of Sister Abigail into the roll-up, that was a really, really cool sequence. It was very, very well done. Spear through the table was dead predictable. It just, wasn't very good. Near fall after near fall towards the end. Amazing psychology with Bray just laughing. Bray really, he's one of the few guys in the company that doesn't just play a character. He is that character. He's very much like Taker in that way. He lives the gimmick. It's one of the reasons I fucking adore Stardust, even though he wasn't on this pay-per-view. The 2 kendo sticks in the corner, it was obvious that it was going to get reversed. It looked brutal. It's, you asked for this. At that point, we knew Reigns was going to win. He hits a really shitty-looking spear, and Roman wins. I have no problem with the spear looking shitty after the match that those 2 had. I mean, Jesus Christ, they tore the fucking place down. That was, in my opinion, by far the best match on this entire fucking card. Then we get to the first match that kind of disappointed me of the night. Like, I thought it was going to be one of my favourite matches of the night, because I adore the Dudleys. I've always loved the Dudleys back in the day when they were on their put every motherfucker that moves through a table. And Bubba's fucking scary eyes bugging the shit out of his head. Fucking amazing. Absolutely awesome. But this match was pretty much every match we've seen between the Dudleys and New Day. Another screwjob finish. No Xavier Woods, which was great, because he's injured. One of the things I noticed during the New Day sort of intro thing was Kofi Kingston mentioned Tout. Now, I wasn't even aware that Tout was still a fucking thing. Like, I remember him pushing it like 3 years ago, loads on Raw, way before I started doing videos, and it used to drive me nuts because it was like Vine, essentially, but a different name. And sorry, I'm just about to get to the moment in the pay-per-view where a table has an argument with Kane and Kane loses the argument, which I always love to see in pay-per-views. It's great. It always makes me think of Matthews' Botchamania stuff. It just the table laughing at him. Oh, the table just didn't break. Anyway, yeah, Woods injured. The whole Tout thing. The pre-match promo was the standard cheap heel heat thing that New Day do every week on Raw, up until they dropped the line about they were going to play bongo. They were going to play. Kofi was going to play percussion on Devon's head, and then Big E comes out with, "I'm going to play the bongos on Bubba Ray's belly like he's a Caucasian Kamala," and I went to pieces. That beautiful line. I'm probably one of the few people who remember who Kamala was. He was a big fat motherfucker from like the mid-90s. It might have been late 80s. Yeah, either or. It was a fucking great line. The Dudleys come in, and like I say, I've seen this match on Raw. I've seen this match at the previous pay-per-views, and it was a bullshit match. Something else that I found bullshit is how in the hell are the New Day over with the crowd? I mean, they were chanting. They were fucking well behind New Day over the Dudleys, and that makes no sense to me at all. The Dudleys, for once, well, not for once, but certainly one of the very few rare occasions that I've seen the Dudleys botch a move. They basically went for a tag team, like a team up move on Kofi, and I think Devon nearly broke Kofi's neck because Bubba Ray just didn't drop him when he went for the move. Right, one of the things that is really winding me up about the Dudleys being back in the day, when they went for the weather move, right, they would have like Stacy Keibler distract the ref because it's a fucking low blow. It's a headbutt to the knackers. It's a fucking low blow, right? But they act like they drop this move into nearly every match that they do because it's gotta be, it's the whole sort of John Cena mold of the 5 moves of doom. That it's a move they have to do, but they don't distract the ref, and the ref just stands there and goes, "Yeah, okay, it's the Dudleys. I guess I'm going to allow it." So the New Day go for the what's up and fail. The Dudleys go for it and they hit it. No disqualification. Why? It's a fucking low blow. Come on, people. Remember your own fucking rules, WWE. We've had this conversation before. So there's a whole bit with the broken trombone and oh god, I've just remembered the fucking unicorns. Oh, the fucking commentary team going on about the fucking unicorns. Jesus. Oh, I hated that. I really did. I really fucking hated that. Yeah, so there's this bit where Kofi comes in with the trombone, throws the trombone to Bubba Ray, throws himself down on the mat, and the ref's like, did you hit him? And Bubba Ray's going, no, no, no. And the universe is going, no, no, no. So the match carries on for a couple of more minutes while the ref is dealing with, I think, Big E on the outside. Kofi runs in, cracks Bubba Ray with the bit of the trombone. 1, 2, 3, after Trouble in Paradise, New Day win. It'd be alright if I hadn't seen this match like every week on Raw for the last month. With a pretty similar finish, you know, with the exception of Woods wasn't there. Then we get to the Divas match, and I wasn't particularly interested in this because I don't like watching either of the Bellas because I don't think either of them can wrestle. They're there purely for the fact that they are pretty and the fact that they're, you know, sleeping with two of the WWE's biggest stars. Like AJ said, they didn't get to the top because they're good wrestlers. I'll call a spade a spade, I don't give a fuck. Anyway, when they were coming out, there was very little crowd reaction initially. Mostly because, you know, you just had the Hell in a Cell match, which took a lot of the crowd out. Like, everybody fucking loved that match, and there wasn't much crowd energy during the Dudleys New Day match. A little towards the end of it. The scary leg scissors takeover, it looked like Charlotte had gone face first into the mat. That kind of happens when the person you're giving the move to is shorter than you are. It just looked ridiculous. Crowd were chanting for Sasha Banks again. I can see her being the, you know, the next number one contender, definitely. Nikki immediately like beats Charlotte outside the ring, throws her into the crowd. I thought this match was going to end up being a count out at that point. Back into the ring after some brutal, like I think it's a suplex from the crowd to the mat, and the whole sort of theory during the psychology, if you will, during this match was that Nikki was focusing on Charlotte's back, so she wasn't able to give the figure eight. So you have the whole little backslider-rama bit, which wasn't particularly interesting. Things didn't start to get interesting until Nikki puts her in a single leg Boston Crab and then sticks her knee right in the small of her back as well, and that looked fucking evil. Follow that up with the Charlotte getting the kick, double kick to the back of the head onto the second turnbuckle. That looked like it broke her nose later on. She had a crack right across the front of it here. It looked like basically she'd been kicked right in the face. That wasn't pretty. The botched superplex reversal, I have no idea what the fuck she was going for, but she damn near killed Nikki Bella. Like I say, I'm not a big fan of the Bellas, but again, I don't want to see somebody get legitimately fucking crippled. That was evil. Talking of legitimately crippled, a fucking Alabama Slammer, or Alabama Slam as I know it, onto the fucking apron. Like, oh, my stomach lurched. And Charlotte just went splat right across that fucking wooden edge of the fucking ring. That was, that was dirty. The match ends in you know, as every Charlotte match ends, with a shitty looking spear, and then she puts the figure eight on sideways, which I thought looked fucking great, but I was a little confused to why it was on fucking sideways. But yeah, it wasn't a bad match, full of botches, but then every match with a fucking Bella in is full of botches. To the Unbreakable table match. Demon Kane versus Seth Rollins. Now, I predicted that Rollins was going to win this because there's no way that they're putting the fucking title on Kane. No more corporate Kane. long and short of this match, really. Fucking Seth really needs to change his ring gear because he looks like a knockoff, cheap Chinese Power Ranger. It's fucking stupid. I bet you, if I look hard enough on the internet, I can find a cheap Power Ranger figure that looks the spitting image of him. I might do that as a project. Anyway, fucking Rollins hitting that over the top moonsault like flip thing that Kane barely caught him for. Again, the theme early on in this match is Kane keeps kicking out at one because he's the Demon Kane. He's not a man. He's a monster. And during the match, I think like that was probably the most exciting thing. Lots and lots of Kane kicking out at one, and then Kane annihilating Rollins. Remember there was a choke slam followed by a 2.5 count near fall, and JBL is like, Kane can't believe it, and I was sat here, and this is literally what I wrote down. I can believe it perfectly, because there's no way Kane's winning this match. It's not believable that he's going to walk away with the title. Sorry. My favourite moment of the match was Rollins powerbombing Kane onto and not through the Spanish announce table. Now you've got to hit that fucking wrong. You've got to hit that in the crappiest spot possible because those tables are designed to fucking fall apart when they're slammed. And yeah, I can already hear Matthew dubbing over it with some emo song from the early 2000s. It's going to be fucking great. That was my favourite moment of the match. Rollins hits a couple of flying knees, a couple of super kicks, a frog splash, a 2 count, and then finally Seth hits the golden pedigree, because nobody kicks out with the pedigree. The IC title match, which is actually the match that is currently playing on the rerun of the pay-per-view right now, this match was boring as shit. The one thing that was interesting was when Owens super kicks Roy Botch right in the chin and he falls off the apron. That was great. The announcers actually missed the repeat of the eye rake that he did from the last pay-per-view, which I thought was odd, because I saw him do it, I saw Roy Botch react to it, and the fucking announcers just didn't call it. So I was like, okay. You see, that would have made more sense to me, watching that match, if there'd been a connect, if they'd noticed that, if they'd mentioned it, because otherwise it just looks like he keeps ducking into the ropes dead cowardly. And that's something I have a problem with Owens. Owens can fight like a motherfucker, and they're booking him the same way they're booking Seth Rollins. Now, I understand he's a heel champion. He's supposed to be a coward. Fuck that. Fucking Kevin Owens needs to be knocking people into next Tuesday. That's how you book him. You book him the same way that you're supposed to book fucking Bray Wyatt. Make him out to be a monster, because that's what he's good at. And then we get to a fucking amazing match. A match I called the result for well before. Like the moment this match was announced, I knew this was. I knew Taker was going to lose this match. And personally, I think this is Taker's last match ever. Yeah. So we'll get to the elephant in the room, which is them completely ignoring the first time these guys met in Hell in a Cell, way back in, I think it was like 2004, 2005-ish. Might have even been as early as 2003. But they've definitely been in a Hell in a Cell before, because there was the whole thing of Undertaker having one of his arms in a cast, and if he used the cast, he would instantly lose the title or whatever. Some bullshit. I was totally right about the crowd in my predictions that they would be behind both of them. Like when the crowd chants got going, the Undertaker and Suplex City, everybody was saying Undertaker. Everybody was saying Suplex City. This was a fucking amazing match. The crowd really got into this match. It was Taker's 13th Hell in a Cell match, which I think is quite good storytelling. You know, with him losing, you know, eventually losing the match, it being unlucky 13. Fucking awesome. Again, the fucking hat mark across Taker's head made him look fucking really stupid at the start of the match, and I could see the look on Lesnar's face. Look, he looks fucking stupid right now. But that goes out of the way real fucking quick. These guys want each other dead. Taker launches Lesnar into the ring post and he gets his arm up, but he gets it up too low on his face, I think, and he goes fucking head first into the ring post, and that's it. Fucking blood everywhere, all the way down his face. It was like an old school Attitude Era Hell in a Cell match. Fucking blood everywhere, fines a go-go for everybody. There was fucking chair shots to the face. There was a particularly brutal shot from Lesnar that came right across Undertaker's jaw. Just BAM! Fucking, yeah, one of the things I wrote here was somebody's getting the shit fined out of them for this. They're probably both going to get fined for it because they both ended up being busted open. Taker busted open. The vicious fucking throat shot that he did on Lesnar with the chair, where he just bounced Lesnar off the mat. Fucking three suplexes, like brutal Germans. Fucking an F5, a 2 count. Taker's still in this. By this point, they are both destroyed. Shot to the face with the stairs. 2 count. Oh yeah, before that, the doctor comes in to wipe Lesnar's face down. Lesnar launches this little man out of the ring, hits fucking Taker with an F5, 2.5 count. Shot to the face with the stairs. Bam! Right in the kisser, man. Another 2.5 count. Lesnar is going mental. Jumps on Taker like it's a fucking UFC bout and just starts wailing on him. Like, again, just beating him like he's a monkey trying to crack a fucking coconut. It was ridiculous. Comes away, and I think at that, yeah, that's at the point he just starts tearing the fucking mat apart. He rips the fabric of the mat, pulls up the thin fucking, like, I've never seen a wrestling ring being set up, so I now know what's underneath it and how thin the mats are, and exposes this, like, maybe 2 foot long by 1 foot wide fucking segment of the ring, and is gonna fucking bounce Undertaker off it. Undertaker reverses it, choke slams him onto it. He choke slams him, picks him up, tombstones him, only gets a 2 count. Lesnar hits a low blow. Retaliation for last month. Hits a third F5 onto the exposed part of the ring mat. 3 count. Lesnar wins. Excuse me. It's fucking 5:45 in the morning. I am fucked. Now, this is where I have a problem. Now, I know Taker was taking a very long time to get back to his feet, and I think they might have gone easy. They might have done this to get him to the back without it looking ridiculous, you know, looking scary to any of the fans. Big thank you, Taker chant. Taker having severe trouble standing, and again, just from the way he was looking around, his reaction. If he's not concussed, then he was, you know, he was looking around like this is goodbye kind of thing. I think this is his last match. The Wyatts come out and beat the. It looked vicious, but I don't think it was. I think they were very, you know, taking it easy on the old guy. Regardless, it wasn't something I wanted to see. After that match, after how brutal that match was, I didn't need to see Braun fucking Strowman Eric Rowan and Luke Harper holding him down and beating the shit out of him. I did not need to see that as a Taker fan. That was unnecessary. The Wyatts carry him off on their back, crucifix styly, which is why I kind of think that maybe it was a way to get into the back without really letting people know that he was in an actual bad way. But it's still a nasty way it's a nasty full stop on what should have been an exclamation mark, because that match was fucking amazing. Those guys went at it. That was a phenomenal match. It had its flaws, certainly. Best match of the night was Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt. That match was fucking that was everything I wanted to see from a Hell in a Cell match. And as sick as I was getting of seeing Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns constantly fighting, I really, really enjoyed that match. It was match of the night, possibly match of the year for me. I really enjoyed that. That was great. I watched this live on the network, which I resubscribed to this month, and the $9.99 I paid was I got my money's worth with the Reigns, Wyatt, and the Lesnar Taker Hell in a Cell matches. All in all, very, very good pay-per-view. Very good. There's a couple of things, and like, I think the biggest criticism I have of the pay-per-view is the World Heavyweight title match seemed like a sideshow and it was unengaging and uninteresting, and everyone knew that Kane wasn't going to win. There was no drama to it. It just felt very mediocre, and you don't want that for your main title. You don't want matches that are lower on the card or that don't have the main title in to upstage it. You want that match to be just as good, and it wasn't. It was nowhere near. Like, no. But yeah, thank you for watching and getting to the end of this video. I have been ForceOfWill. We are at Team Lioncourt on the old Twitters. Drop us a like, drop us a subscribe down below. I shall see you very soon for Monday Night Raw. And until then, you have a good one and stay awesome. Bye-bye.